Alternate scents, alternate scents, alternate scents. That's the talk of the town for the last few weeks in my comment section. And although I don't know if it was the brands doing it or these were genuine requests from the viewers of this channel, because in the past, some of the brands have tried this technique of, commenting everywhere and going, review this perfume, review this perfume. This particular perfume house kind of intrigued me. Reason, the pricing. They are selling their perfumes for around 6 to 650 rupees for 100 ml for the designers. Okay, these are dupes. And the value proposition is kind of incredible. 650 for 100 ml. I had to try it because most of the clones that I'm trying are basically selling for like 700 rupees for a 50 ml minimum. They are kind of giving the 100 ml for less than 700 rupees, right? And also available in popular platforms like Flipkart, Amazon. So that kind of intrigued me, and I was like, what the F? Even if they are bots or whatever the case is, let me just review the house. What if the requests are genuine? So rather than investing a lot of money on the perfumes, I got this gift set which was available at around 650 rupees, which covered 7 perfumes from the house of Alternate Scents that we are going to be reviewing today. I'm going to share every single thing about the perfumes. How good are they? How close are they to the OG? What is the pricing? What is the performance like? What is the projection like? Should you even consider those? Out of those 7, did I like any one of them that I can recommend? All the things will be answered. There is nothing inside the box as of now because everything is lying over here in the table. So let me just throw it away. Now let's get started with the video, and I'm going to start my review with the first perfume from the list, which is going to be this one. This is Mr. Y. Let me do the review from the one that I hated the most to the one that I liked the most, okay? So the first perfume that I hated the most is going to be Aqua G-10. This is basically their take on Acqua Di Gio, and by God, this perfume barely lasts. Projects 20 minutes or so when applied on the clothes. And the overall longevity in my case was around 1 to 1.5 hours max. After that, it felt like the perfume kind of faded away. And I'm talking about this during the winters when there is not even high heat. I think during the high heat situation, this is going to fade away even faster. And I just don't think, if in case you're looking for a good alternative to Acqua Di Gio, you should even consider this. Rather than going for this, you should get something like this. This is my favorite as of now in the budget category, which is Oceanic from Uff, my Clone War winner, and this leans very close to the DNA of Acqua Di Gio at around 1300 ml for 100 ml. This is much better value for money proposition. It will project for around 40 minutes to 50 minutes when applied on the clothes. Overall longevity is around 4 to 5 hours when applied on the clothes, and a much better take in the DNA of Acqua Di Gio. What if you can spend a bit more? Say if you can spend around 24 to 2500 rupees for one particular perfume, then I think you can invest in a full bottle of Titan Skin Raw, or you can get a 20 ml of this one. This will cost you around 5 to 550 rupees for this particular 20 ml. Although this is not a head-to-head clone, rather a twist in the DNA of Acqua Di Gio. Or you can go for something like this, which is Ajmal Shiro. This is again a 90 ml bottle, selling for around 24 to 2500 rupees. They offer better longevity, around 6 to 7 hours easily when applied on the clothes, even more, and projects for around 1 to 1.5 hours, although you're paying around double the price of Uff Oceanic. But what if you just wanted to get a perfume inexpensive, smells like Acqua Di Gio? Your choice should end at Uff Oceanic. I don't think, I have already done a clone war, I have tested a lot of perfumes, nothing came close to Uff Oceanic. So Aqua G-10 from Alternate Scents, I will not recommend this. Now let me move on to my 6th favorite. 7th favorite was Aqua G-10. 6th favorite is going to be Alternate Scents Mr. Y. Mr. Y is basically their clone of YSL Y. Again, this perfume has got better projection and longevity than Aqua G-10, but not even close to the competition. This perfume, when it comes to the closeness to the OG, YSL Y, this is around 70 to 80% in the DNA of YSL Y. So in terms of cloning the OG, they got the part right. But where it lacks is the blend quality, the performance and projection. There is a sharp alcoholic blast for the first 1 to 2 minutes, which kind of settles down after 1 to 2 minutes. That is there. But the overall performance that I have received with this perfume is like, Around 30 minutes, this will kind of project, but in a very soft way. After like 2.5 to 3 hours, the perfume will be barely noticeable. That's how less potent this particular perfume feels to me. So instead of Mr. Y, the clone of YSL Y, I would suggest two perfumes. One is from Arabian Aroma, which is YSL Y clone of Arabian Aroma. And this was the clone winner when we tested all the clones of YSL Y. And by far, this is one of the closest when it comes to the DNA of YSL Y. Performs way better, projects way better, around an hour of projection, around 6 to 6.5 hours of longevity when applied on the clothes easily, and one of my favorite when it comes to the DNA of YSL Y. But if in case you don't want to smell really close to the DNA of YSL Y, then there is another perfume which blend quality wise is a bit better than this, and that is my new favorite, which is going to be this one. This is Menworks, the blue. The blue, although is a bit more fresher and a tad bit more sweeter, and in terms of the closeness to the OG is not as close as YSL Y, but still, I mean, it's close. Around 70% I would say this is in the DNA of YSL Y. This would be around 80 to 85% into the DNA of YSL Y in my opinion. So if in case you want to you can compromise on the DNA and want to go for a better blend quality, then the blue is a better option in my opinion. And for this particular perfume, you're gonna spend 100 rupees more than Arabian Aroma's YSL Y. So you pay 100 rupees more, you get a better blend. And these two will perform around 1 to 1.5 hours easily on the clothes. The longevity is around 6 to 7 hours easily on the clothes. A much better value for money proposition in my opinion than Mr. Y from Alternate Scents. Now let's move on to the fifth perfume, or the fifth ranking perfume that I would like to review from Alternate Scents is going to be this one. This is Sultaan. Sultaan is not a clone to some perfume, okay? Sultaan is basically their private blend. By private blend, what they have basically done is they have made a perfume which smells something similar to this. And this is Bella Vita Goat Man. Although not exactly head to head, they smell similar, but the dry down is very similar. And the dry down is basically like Dior Sauvage with some twists. Although the perfume is better than Mr. Y and Aqua G-10 when it comes to the performance and projection and everything. Blend quality wise also this is even better than Bella Vita Goatman. Bella Vita Goatman is kind of like alcoholic. I mean, the alcoholic rush that I get with this perfume is like profound. Around 5 to 10 minutes, the alcoholic blast kind of stays. On this one, after 5 minutes, the alcoholic blast will be gone. Although in terms of the overall projection and longevity, say 3 to 3.5 hours to 4 hours, this is going to last when applied on the clothes. And the projection is around 30 to 40 minutes max. Although the projection is also not strong, it's kind of moderate. So that's Sultaan from Alternate Scents, their private blend. Okay, better than Bella Vita Goat Man, that is for sure. Now let's move on to the fourth perfume from all the perfumes that I have tested from Alternate Scents. At number 4, I would want to keep this one. This is Amber and Leather. Amber and Leather is basically Alternate Scents take on Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. So how is this particular perfume, Amber Leather? In terms of the replication of the DNA, they are close. Not as close as the clone winner, which is Afnan's Rare Carbon, but that perfume is pretty expensive. So we are not even considering that. But in this particular price segment, I still feel that this perfume could have done better because there are better alternatives out there. Although this is not a 100% clone to the DNA of Ombre Leather, this is kind of a mixture between Tuscan Leather and Ombre Leather. And in that particular blend, this one kind of projects for around 30 minutes, would last around 3 to 3.5 hours, and after that it would kind of fade away from the clothes. Rather than getting this, I would have got something like this Imperial Leather from Menworks at around 700 to 800 for a 50 ml. This shines, a much better blend, around 1 to 1.5 hour of projection, around 6 to 7 hours of longevity when applied on the clothes, a much better DNA which kind of incorporates Ombre Leather and Tuscan Leather together. Or I would, if in case I have to spend less, right, I would go for something like this. This is Party Leather from Fusion by Rizwan. And if you apply the buy two get two offer from Fusion by Rizwan, this the pricing of this particular 50 ml would be around 500 rupees, much lesser than Imperial leather. And if in case you're buying in singles, then Imperial leather is better. But both of them in terms of the perfume is better than Amber leather by alternate scents, because this one as well would project for around an hour, last around 6 to 7 hours when applied on the clothes, and is a much better blend when it comes to the, the fusion of Ombre leather and Tuscan leather. And Amber leather is kind of meh. So it comes at number 4, better than the previous ones that I've discussed over here, Amber and leather. Something which is kind of, you can get, but then again, you can skip as well. At number 3, I would like to keep this one. This is Sauvage Elixir. Why Sauvage Elixir? Sauvage Elixir is basically Dior Sauvage Elixir. And why is it at number 3? Reason. This is still better than anything like Sauvage Elixir from Olga. Sauvage Elixir from Olga also sells in this particular price bracket, but this one, Sauvage Elixir, is better than Sauvage Elixir. Okay. However, the reason this is not at 1 or 2 is because there are better alternatives to Sauvage Elixir or Dior Sauvage Elixir, which is available. This will project around 30 to 40 minutes. Within 3 to 4 hours, this perfume will fade away. A better value proposition than this would be Bergamot Butte Tux. Inexpensive perfume smelling more closer to the DNA of Dior Sauvage Elixir than Sauvage Elixir, projects better, lasts longer, and is available at a very similar price range. Okay, would project for around 40 minutes, strong to moderate, lasts around 5 to 6 hours easily when applied on the clothes. This would fade away quicker than this. And if in case you can spend a bit more, the best one that you can actually get is Lattafa's Asad. And if in case you don't want to get Asad for 1700 and you can spend only around 1500, in that case, Menworks Elixir is also a good honorable mention. Although the projection and longevity of Asad is better, blend quality wise, Elixir is better. So between Elixir and Asad, you can choose any one of them. You will not go wrong. In the budget category, there is Wildstone Pyro as well, but I think Bergamot Butte Tux is a better option in that value for money category. More value for money than Sauvage Elixir from alternate scents. At the second position, I would like to keep Red Crystal Rouge 540. And the reason it comes at second or number 2 position is because this is something that I can actually recommend. Although I don't like the DNA of Baccarat Rouge 540. It's very sugary, sweet, thick, dense. It's like sugar water. Don't get me wrong. This particular perfume is still better than the one that I have recommended so far, which is going to be Olga's Nashwa. Olga's Nashwa was one of the cheapest Baccarat Rouge 540 clones that I had in my collection. And whenever somebody asked, brother, Dada, what is the cheapest clone of BR 540 that you can recommend? I always said Nashwa, but this was synthetic as hell. But when it comes to the price point, this made sense. And the longevity on this one was like 7 to 8 hours. The projection was like 1 to 1.5 hours. And for a perfume that sells so cheap, I thought the value for money on this one was incredible up until I met this. Red Crystal Rouge 540 is a better blend than Nashwa, less synthetic than Nashwa. Projects around similar 1 to 1.5 hours when applied on the clothes. The longevity is 6 to 7 hours when applied on the clothes. And I mean, it happens because of the base note is very thick, dense, heavy, sweet. That is the reason. And for that particular reason, I felt that Red Crystal Rouge 540 can be an option that I can recommend to somebody who is looking for a BR 540 clone, that too on a very less budget. So if in case you're looking for a BR 540 clone, then Red Crystal Rouge 540 can be a good option, coming at number 2 out of all the perfumes that I've tested. And at number 1, the perfume that I would like to recommend is going to be Satin Oud from the House of Alternate Scents. This is basically their take on MFK Oud Satin Mood, and the reason this is at number 1 is because I have got one perfume that I have loved very much from the House of Menworks, which was Velvet Sin. This is around 70 to 75% in the DNA of MFK Oud Satin Mood, and this perfume is nuclear. Something, if you apply 4 sprays on your clothes, the projection is going to be around 1 to 2 hours easily. The longevity would be around 1 to 1.5 days. Okay, this lasts more than 24 hours when applied on the clothes. That is kind of a boon as well as a curse for this particular perfume. Why? If in case you're looking for something a bit more airy, a little less thick, which would fade away say at 6 or 7 hours mark and would not project that strong, something which is moderate. I didn't have any option till date for the DNA of MFK Oud Satin Mood up until I got this one. This is kind of a toned down version of Velvet Sin. So if in case you're not looking for a nuclear projecting perfume, rather something which projects moderately, would fade away within 6 to 7 hours, but still smells almost 70 to 75% identical to the DNA of Oud Satin Mood by MFK, then alternate sense, Oud Satin is a really good option and something that I can actually recommend from this particular house. The alcoholic blast also on this perfume is very, very, very less. This has also got that sweet syrupy rose base with incensey notes, a little bit of oud, very similar to the DNA of MFK Oud Satin Mood. And the pricing is around 3 to 350 rupees for a 50 ml, which is very inexpensive. And if in case MFK Oud Satin Mood was something that you wanted, your wish will be fulfilled with alternate sense Oud Satin Mood, which comes at number 1 for me. So that was kind of all the perfumes that I tested from this particular house. The end story is you get what you pay for. You pay very cheap amount of money for these 100 ml perfumes, and what you receive is very minimal projection and longevity from the perfumes with some amount of alcoholic syntheticness, which is kind of evident when you're paying such a low amount of pricing. If in case you can actually spend like 2 to 300 rupees more, there are tons of other houses which are doing much better job than these one. So if your budget allows, I think you can save it and go for something like Menworks, Arabian Aroma, Uff. They are doing a much better job. But if in case you're hell-bent on getting 100 ml bottles for around 6 to 650 rupees, then alternate sense will not disappoint you, but they may disappoint you with the projection and longevity. So that was my take on this particular house. If in case you have used any one of these perfumes, or if you have used the perfumes that I have not listed over here today, share your experience in the comment section. If in case you have any queries or concerns with any of these perfumes or any perfume for that particular matter, connect with me via Instagram, which is Saga Online, or you can comment over here in this particular video as well. And up until next time, this is Deep signing off. I'll see you on the next one very soon. Bye-bye.